Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to address a topic that affects many people, but is often kept in the dark. The experience of a woman without friends. Isolation can feel like an insurmountable barrier that surrounds us in loneliness. It is not just the lack of company, but the emotional distance that intensifies the feeling of not being worthy or deserving of love. In a world that often associates busyness with belonging, we can be surrounded by people and still feel deeply alone. This paradox is painful and often goes unnoticed. On the other hand, connection is an essential human need. It feeds our spirit and strengthens our sense of self-worth. Connection is based on shared experiences, empathy, and understanding, allowing us to feel seen and heard, validating our existence and emotions. By connecting, we create a sense of belonging that dispels loneliness. However, building these connections requires vulnerability. It is not easy to show our true selves and reveal our insecurities and fears. This process can be daunting, as it confronts us with the possibility of rejection or misunderstanding. However, by embracing this vulnerability, we open the door to deeper, more authentic relationships, where we find the strongest bonds that remind us that we are not alone in our experiences. The struggle between isolation and connection is not just an individual journey, but reflects a larger societal dynamic. In a culture that often celebrates individualism, many of us feel pressure to face it all alone, mistakenly believing that we must be self-sufficient and that asking for help is a sign of weakness. This misunderstanding perpetuates the cycle of isolation, trapping us in a cycle of loneliness. In contrast, connection reminds us that we are relational beings by nature. Through relationships, whether brief or long-lasting, we find purpose and joy. By connecting with others, we foster a sense of community that makes us feel like we share common struggles and aspirations, transforming a solitary journey into a collective adventure that enriches our lives in ways we may not fully understand. Breaking free from isolation involves recognizing the courage needed to reach out and seek connection in a world that sometimes seems indifferent. It's about embracing our humanity and understanding that each person we meet faces their own challenges. By fostering empathy and openness, we create a space where connections can flourish, building bridges rather than walls. Ultimately, the tension between isolation and connection is an ongoing dialogue within ourselves. It challenges us to examine our relationships and the quality of those connections, inviting us to reflect on how we can nurture and deepen our bonds with others, transforming moments of loneliness into opportunities for meaningful engagement. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but it is actually one of the most profound forms of strength. Being vulnerable involves being willing to show our true selves, with our fears, insecurities, and desires, and step into the unknown, opening ourselves to the possibility of disappointment or rejection. This act requires immense courage, as it removes the protective barriers we often build around our hearts to protect ourselves from pain. By allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, we invite authenticity into our lives, creating a space where we can share our experiences without fear of being judged. This openness fosters deeper connections, as it encourages others to respond in the same way. When one person shares their truth, it often acts as a catalyst that prompts others to reveal their own struggles and feelings. This mutual sharing cultivates an environment of empathy and understanding, transforming isolated experiences into shared journeys. However, the fear of vulnerability can be deeply ingrained, influenced by societal expectations and past experiences. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that showing our emotions is a sign of weakness, and that we must project strength and confidence at all times. This belief can create barriers that prevent us from forming meaningful relationships. The irony is that even as we seek to make connections, our reluctance to be vulnerable often keeps us distant. Furthermore, vulnerability plays a crucial role in self-acceptance. By embracing our imperfections and allowing ourselves to be seen as worthy beings, we begin to cultivate a sense of belonging that transcends external validation. This journey toward self-acceptance can be liberating, as it allows us to let go of the masks we wear in everyday life, finding peace in our own skin. We recognize that our worth lies not in our accomplishments or how others perceive us, but in our inherent humanity. In the realm of vulnerability, friendships are the cornerstone of trust, establishing a foundation where people feel safe to share their thoughts and feelings without fear of being judged. This sense of safety is vital to forming lasting relationships. By revealing ourselves, we create resilient, deeply rooted bonds, capable of withstanding life's trials. However, vulnerability is not without its challenges. It can feel intimidating to open up, especially if we've faced betrayal or disappointment in the past. Scars from previous relationships may linger, making it difficult to take the leap into vulnerability again. Nonetheless, acknowledging these fears is a crucial step toward healing. By identifying our apprehensions, we can begin to navigate relationships with the understanding that vulnerability is a practice that requires patience and self-compassion. Embracing vulnerability enriches our lives, allowing us to experience the full spectrum of human emotions: joy, sadness, connection, and growth. By leaning into vulnerability, we not only foster deeper relationships with others, but we also develop a deeper connection with ourselves. This journey transforms our lives, encouraging us to engage with the world in a more authentic and meaningful way. The courage to reach out is a profound act that transcends mere social interaction. It is a testament to our desire for connection and belonging. In a world that often emphasizes self-reliance and independence, reaching out can be daunting, as it challenges the narrative of facing our struggles alone and highlights the vulnerability inherent in seeking connection with others. When we decide to reach out, we face our fears head-on. The anxiety of rejection looms large. What if the person we reach out to doesn't respond positively? We reveal our feelings and they aren't reciprocated. These fears can be paralyzing and often lead us to isolate ourselves even further. However, it's important to recognize that these fears are a natural part of the human experience. They remind us that we care about our relationships and how we are perceived. Choosing to reach out takes courage, especially considering the emotional risks involved. It requires stepping out of our comfort zone to face the real possibility of vulnerability. This act can be especially challenging for those who have faced betrayal in the past. We've been conditioned to believe that asking for help is a sign of weakness. But reaching out isn't about weakness. It's about embracing our humanity and recognizing that we all need support. Reaching out is often an invitation to dialogue, opening the door to meaningful conversations that can lead to deeper understanding and connection. By reaching out, we create opportunities for others to respond, and this reciprocity can transform our relationships. By sharing our thoughts and feelings, we invite others to do the same, fostering an environment where mutual vulnerability can thrive. Additionally, reaching out can be a source of empowerment, shifting the narrative from isolation to one of collaboration and support. By actively seeking connection, we take responsibility for our emotional needs and demonstrate that it's okay to prioritize our well-being. This act of courage can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that promotes a culture of openness and support. It's important to recognize that reaching out doesn't always have to be a grand gesture. Sometimes, it can be as simple as sending a message to check in on someone or inviting a friend over for coffee. These small acts can have a significant impact, not only on our own sense of connection, but on the lives of others. They remind us that relationships are built from consistent, everyday interactions that demonstrate care and concern. What's more, the courage to reach out can be a powerful tool for personal growth. Every time we take the initiative to connect with someone, We learn more about ourselves and our capacity for resilience. We gain clearer insight into our needs and desires, and we become more attuned to the dynamics of our relationships. This process of self-discovery empowers us to build healthier, more fulfilling connections. Ultimately, the courage to reach out celebrates our shared humanity. It recognizes that we all navigate the complexities of life together, and that seeking connection is not only natural, but essential. By embracing this courage, we open ourselves to the richness of relationships and foster a sense of community and belonging that can transform our lives. Authenticity is the foundation for meaningful relationships and personal fulfillment. Being authentic means embracing our true selves, with our values, beliefs, and emotions, without pretense. In a world driven by external expectations and societal norms, staying true to ourselves can be a significant challenge. However, genuine authenticity is not only about being honest with others, but also about being honest with ourselves. By practicing authenticity, we cultivate a deeper understanding of who we are, allowing us to navigate our lives with intention and clarity. It encourages us to reflect on our values and priorities, leading us to make choices that resonate with our true selves. In this way, authenticity becomes a guiding principle for how we relate to the world and the people around us. In relationships, authenticity fosters trust and intimacy. By showing up as we are, we create an environment where others feel safe to do the same. This openness builds a foundation of trust that allows for deeper connections. Authenticity invites vulnerability, and in that space of shared truth, relationships can thrive. We move beyond superficial interactions into a realm where our feelings and experiences are honored and validated. Additionally, authenticity can be a catalyst for personal growth. By embracing our true selves, we become more resilient in the face of challenges, learn to accept our imperfections, and recognize that they are part of our unique journey. This acceptance allows us to face life's ups and downs with greater ease, as we are no longer burdened by the need to conform or seek external validation. However, the path to authenticity is not without obstacles. Fear of judgment or rejection can prevent us from fully expressing ourselves. We may worry about how others will perceive our thoughts, feelings, or choices, leading us to conform to societal expectations rather than honoring our true nature. This fear can create a disconnect between who we are and how we present ourselves, generating feelings of inauthenticity and internal conflict. Furthermore, the journey toward authenticity requires ongoing self-reflection, demanding that we examine our motivations, confront our fears, and question any beliefs that no longer serve us. This process can be uncomfortable, as it often involves letting go of long-held narratives about who we should be. However, this discomfort is a necessary part of the path, as it drives us to grow and evolve. In a broader context, authenticity plays a crucial role in shaping communities and cultures. When individuals embrace their true selves, they contribute to a richer, more diverse tapestry of experiences and perspectives. This diversity enhances our collective understanding and fosters a sense of belonging. When people feel free to express their true selves, communities become more inclusive and supportive, creating spaces where everyone can thrive. Furthermore, authenticity fosters empathy and compassion. By sharing our authentic stories, we invite others to do the same, building bridges that bridge divides, and creating a sense of solidarity between people of different backgrounds and walks of life. It reminds us that despite our differences, we share fundamental human experiences, forging connections that can overcome barriers. Ultimately, the role of authenticity in our lives cannot be underestimated. It is the key to unlocking deeper relationships, fostering personal growth, and cultivating a sense of belonging in our communities. By embracing our true selves, we not only enrich our own lives, but we also contribute to a more compassionate and connected world. Redefining relationships invites us to reconsider traditional frameworks that often dictate how we view our connections with others. Historically, relationships have been defined by specific roles, expectations, and societal norms, such as friendship, family, or romantic relationships. However, these conventional definitions sometimes limit our understanding of what relationships can be and how they can enrich our lives. In modern life, the relational landscape is increasingly fluid and multifaceted. The rise of technology and social media has altered the way we connect, allowing for diverse forms of interaction that transcend geographic boundaries. Online platforms allow us to forge connections with people we may never meet in person, creating communities based on interests and values rather than physical proximity. This shift challenges the notion that relationships must fit into predefined categories, encouraging us to take a broader view of connection. Furthermore, the evolving nature of relationships encourages us to prioritize quality over quantity. The emphasis on having a wide circle of friends sometimes overshadows the importance of cultivating deeper, more meaningful connections. Redefining relationships means recognizing that a few genuine, supportive friendships can be far more fulfilling than a large network of acquaintances. This shift encourages us to invest time and energy into relationships that truly resonate with us. Likewise, the concept of relationships is becoming less and less hierarchical. In traditional models, relationships often involve power dynamics where one party has authority or influence over the other. By redefining relationships to be more egalitarian, we foster environments where each person's preferences are equally valued. This shift not only improves communication, but also promotes mutual respect and understanding, allowing for a more collaborative approach to problem-solving and shared experiences. As we redefine relationships, we also begin to understand the importance of setting clear boundaries. Recognizing our own needs and limitations and communicating them effectively to others is essential to maintaining healthy connections. In doing so, we create relationships that respect individual autonomy while also fostering healthy boundaries of intimacy, empowering us to engage in nourishing rather than draining relationships and allowing us to prioritize our emotional well-being. Furthermore, redefining relationships encourages us to embrace vulnerability. By moving away from rigid definitions, we create space for authentic expression, which can lead to deeper emotional connections. By allowing ourselves to share our fears, aspirations, and struggles, we foster a sense of safety that invites others to do the same, strengthening our relationships in meaningful ways. This process of redefining relationships also extends to how we perceive ourselves within them. Often, we tend to define ourselves through our roles as mother, friend, or partner, which creates a limited understanding of our identity. However, by broadening our view of relationships, we can see ourselves as multifaceted individuals who bring unique qualities to each connection. This perspective promotes personal growth as we explore different aspects of our identity through our interactions with others. Additionally, redefined relationships can lead to a greater emphasis on compassion and empathy. By understanding that relationships are not limited to traditional labels, we become more open to diverse experiences and perspectives. This openness fosters an understanding environment where we can appreciate the complexity of others' lives and struggles. By cultivating empathy, we enhance our ability to connect on a deeper level, breaking down the barriers that often separate us. Finally, redefining relationships invites us to embrace changes in life circumstances. Personal growth and shifting priorities can impact our connections. By recognizing that relationships can evolve, we free ourselves from the pressure of maintaining static roles. This flexibility allows us to adapt to the changing needs of ourselves and others, fostering resilience within our connections. It also helps us understand that growth sometimes involves letting go of relationships that no longer serve us and welcoming new ones that will. Society's impact on our relationships is profound and multifaceted, shaping not only how we connect with others, but also how we perceive ourselves within those connections. From cultural norms to societal expectations, the framework in which we operate significantly influences the dynamics of our interpersonal relationships. Cultural narratives play a crucial role in defining what constitutes a normal relationship. Different societies have varying ideals about friendship, family, and romantic relationships, and these associations are often deeply rooted in historical contexts and traditions. These cultural norms can dictate everything from the roles we take on to the expectations we project onto ourselves and others. For example, in some cultures, collectivism is valued over individualism, leading to strong family bonds and community-oriented relationships. In more individualistic societies, there may be a greater emphasis on personal autonomy, which could lead to more transient relationships. Furthermore, societal expectations can put pressure on people to conform to certain relationship standards. There are often unwritten rules about how relationships should progress, with set timelines for marriage, parenthood, or career success. These pressures can create anxiety in those who feel they do not meet these expectations, leading them to enter into or remain in relationships that do not align with their true desires, ultimately affecting their emotional well-being. The portrayal of relationships in media and popular culture also significantly shapes our understanding of connection. Movies, television shows, and social media often show idealized versions of friendships and romantic relationships, emphasizing drama and perfection. These depictions can create unrealistic expectations, leading people to feel dissatisfied with their own relationships as they compare their everyday experiences to these carefully curated images. Additionally, societal attitudes toward mental health and emotional expression impact how we relate. In cultures where mental health struggles are stigmatized, people may feel pressured to hide their true feelings, creating barriers to authentic connection. This reluctance to share vulnerabilities can perpetuate feelings of isolation and misunderstanding, making it difficult to form deep, supportive relationships. Different identities can present unique challenges and expectations that influence how we connect. For example, marginalized communities often face societal bias and discrimination that impact their relationships both within and outside their communities. Understanding these dynamics is essential to fostering empathy and support in our interactions. Likewise, social structures, such as workplace dynamics and community organizations, significantly influence our relationships. In professional settings, hierarchies often prioritize productivity over genuine connection, which can lead to superficial relationships where people feel they must maintain a facade of professionalism rather than show up authentically. In contrast, workplaces that value collaboration and open communication can foster strong bonds between colleagues, improving both morale and productivity. Technology also plays a major role in shaping modern relationships. While it offers new avenues for connection, it can also lead to superficial interactions and a sense of disconnection. Social media, for example, encourages constant comparison, highlighting only the best aspects of people's lives, which can lead to feelings of inadequacy. Additionally, a reliance on digital communication sometimes hampers our ability to engage in meaningful face-to-face interactions, impacting the quality of our relationships. Finally, societal changes, such as increased mobility and globalization, have transformed the nature of relationships. As people move for work or personal reasons, traditional community structures can shift, leading to a sense of dislocation. This mobility can make it more difficult to maintain lasting connections, but it also offers opportunities to forge new relationships with people from diverse backgrounds and cultures. In short, society's impact on our relationships is complex and multifaceted, profoundly influencing our expectations, behaviors, and perceptions. By critically examining these societal influences, we can better understand our own relationships and work to foster deeper, more authentic connections. In a world of constant change, vulnerability has a remarkable power to heal, acting as a transformative force in our emotional lives. At its core, vulnerability is about allowing others to see us as we are, with our fears, insecurities, and deepest feelings. While this act of openness can be daunting, it is precisely through it that we often find our most meaningful connections. By embracing vulnerability, we create opportunities for authentic connection. Sharing our struggles invites others to do the same, fostering an environment where mutual support can thrive. In these moments of honesty, we discover that we are not alone in our experiences, and this shared understanding offers us comfort, reminding us that our feelings are valid and that others have walked similar paths. Feeling part of a common human experience can ease the weight of isolation and loneliness. Furthermore, vulnerability acts as a catalyst for personal growth. By facing our fears and uncertainties, we challenge the narratives we tell ourselves about who we are and what we are capable of. This introspective process leads us to a deep understanding of ourselves, allowing us to redefine our self-image and embrace our true selves. Recognizing our vulnerabilities empowers us to move beyond our limitations and fosters resilience in the face of adversity. The healing power of vulnerability becomes especially evident in the context of trauma and grief. When we have been through difficult experiences, we tend to withdraw, building walls to protect ourselves from further harm. However, these walls can also trap us in a cycle of isolation and suffering. By allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, whether through talking about our experiences, expressing our emotions, or seeking support from others, we begin to dismantle those barriers. This act of reaching out is a crucial step toward healing, as it opens the door to understanding, empathy, and connection. In therapeutic settings, vulnerability plays an essential role in the healing process. Therapists encourage their patients to share their innermost thoughts and feelings, creating a safe space where vulnerability is welcomed. This dynamic can be deeply liberating, as articulating pain can reduce its power over us. Expressing emotions such as grief, anger, or fear can lead to catharsis, providing clarity and allowing us to process our experiences more healthily. Vulnerability also fosters empathy and compassion, both in ourselves and in our relationships with others. When we share our vulnerabilities, we invite others to respond with kindness and understanding, enriching our connections with genuine emotional depth. By embracing vulnerability, we not only heal ourselves, but we also contribute to a culture of openness and support that benefits everyone. The power of vulnerability also extends to our creative expressions. Artists, writers, and actors often draw on their own vulnerabilities to create work that resonates deeply with others. This creative process can be therapeutic, allowing people to explore their emotions and experiences in constructive ways. When these expressions are shared, they have the potential to touch others, fostering connection and healing through the recognition of shared human experiences. In relationships, vulnerability is the foundation of intimacy and trust. By allowing ourselves to be open and honest with those we care about, we create spaces where authentic relationships can flourish. This openness not only deepens our connections, but also encourages others to share their own vulnerabilities, generating a richer and more fulfilling emotional landscape. The courage to be vulnerable can transform our relationships, elevating them from superficial interactions to deep bonds based on mutual understanding and support. The healing power of vulnerability reminds us of our shared humanity and encourages us to embrace our imperfections. We recognize that true strength lies not in the absence of fear, but in the ability to face it. By allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, we open pathways to healing, connection, and growth, enriching our lives and the lives of those around us. Hope and resilience are deeply intertwined concepts that act as powerful anchors, especially in times of adversity. Hope is the belief that better days are possible, that change can happen, and that we can overcome the challenges we face. This belief gives us a sense of purpose and motivates us to act, even when the path forward seems uncertain. Resilience, on the other hand, is our ability to bounce back from difficulties, adapt, and keep going despite setbacks. At the heart of resilience is the ability to envision a brighter future than the present. This positive outlook can be deeply transformative, giving us the strength to endure hardship. By cultivating hope, we build a mental framework that allows us to see possibilities rather than obstacles. This is especially important during difficult times, as it encourages us to focus on what we can change rather than feeling overwhelmed by what we can't. Resilience is not a fixed trait. It is a dynamic process that can be developed and strengthened over time. It involves a combination of emotional, mental, and social resources that enable us to overcome challenges. Resilient people typically have a positive mindset, viewing difficulties as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. This mindset can be cultivated through practices such as self-reflection, mindfulness, and gratitude, which help each individual develop a deeper understanding of their strengths and coping mechanisms. Furthermore, hope and resilience are deeply connected to our relationships with others. Social support plays a critical role in fostering these qualities. By sharing our struggles with trusted friends or family, we not only gain new perspectives, but we also feel less isolated in our experiences. This connection reinforces our belief that we are not alone, and that there are people who care about us and our well-being. In turn, this support can strengthen our resilience, allowing us to face challenges with a greater sense of confidence and courage. Hope and resilience are especially evident in the context of trauma and recovery. Both qualities allow us to see the light amidst the darkness and to move forward, transforming painful experiences into opportunities for personal growth and empowerment. People who have faced significant hardships, whether loss, illness, or abuse, often draw on their inner strength and hope as they navigate the healing process. This journey of recovery can be long and fraught with obstacles, but those who maintain a sense of hope are more likely to engage in proactive behaviors that facilitate their healing. They may seek therapy, find creative outlets, or establish new routines that support their well-being, all rooted in the belief that change is possible. Additionally, cultivating hope can inspire concrete action. When people feel hopeful, they are more likely to set goals and take steps to achieve them. This proactive approach creates a sense of agency, empowering people to influence their circumstances rather than seeing themselves as victims of their situation. Each small success reinforces hope and creates a positive feedback loop that builds resilience. Hope and resilience also play crucial roles in our communities, especially during times of crisis such as natural disasters, social conflict, or economic challenges. Communities that foster a culture of hope operate more effectively. Collective resilience emerges when people come together to support each other, share resources, and collaborate on solutions. This communal aspect of resilience underscores the importance of connection and solidarity, reminding us that together we can achieve more than alone. Hope is also essential to long-term well-being. Research shows that people with a hopeful mindset tend to experience better physical and mental health outcomes. This connection highlights the importance of cultivating hope, not only in ourselves, but also in those around us. By fostering a hopeful mindset, we contribute to a culture of resilience that helps individuals and communities overcome adversity. Hope and resilience are vital components of the human experience, allowing us to meet life's challenges with strength and purpose. By cultivating these qualities and fostering genuine connections, we create a supportive environment that enriches our lives and uplifts those around us. By exploring themes such as vulnerability, authenticity, and the impact of society, we uncover the intricate tapestry that shapes our relationships and personal growth. Embracing vulnerability allows us to connect more deeply, fostering trust and empathy. Authenticity helps us navigate our identities and relationships with integrity, while societal influences emerge as essential qualities that propel us through adversity and encourage us to envision a brighter future. By cultivating these qualities and fostering genuine connections, we create a supportive environment that enriches our lives and uplifts those around us. By redefining our understanding of relationships, we move toward a more compassionate and inclusive world, where each individual feels free to embrace their true self and contribute to a collective journey of healing and growth.